So in this video, we're going to make a basic Vite application using the ArcGIS Maps SDK, and we're going to do it in the war philosophy and that sort of thing, where we try to make VS Code do a little bit of work for us, or try to leverage it so it can help us write code faster and that. So what I'm following, just so you know, are these steps on roughly here slides 21, 22. That's what I'm going to be doing here live in that. So I'm going to go off and I'm going to create a empty folder. So there's nothing in here. And I'm just going to go in and open up VS Code and pop into a terminal. Don't need the welcome tab. Terminal, new terminal. Make sure you got Node in that. So Node -- version. Do you have it? 21 looks good. Could be a little higher. Oh, but that's okay. Oh, so close, so close. There. Now, what we have to do here is create the project. Now, if you're on the War desktop, you got to do a Vite 4.4.0. Here, I'm going to go latest because I'm running this at home. So npm create Vite at, again, if you're on War, 4.4.0. And if you're at home, you can probably go latest. It's a permission issue. And this is the most important part. Space, dot, space. That dot's so important. It means make it where I'm currently at in this empty folder. And that, so it will come up. Vanilla is fine. You can use the arrow keys to move up and down. And so it works with lots of different frameworks, but just plain vanilla. Down arrow once I get to JavaScript, done. And then we'll do an npm install, and that's going to install Vite. So here, there's no node modules folder yet. It's going to show up shortly. I guess node package manager. There, in that. And so there's the folder that pops up there. And this is where your solution get kind of big. That a lot of that doesn't end up in production. Once we start running. Now, one thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and change the div. So inside here, index.html, we're going to change this to view -div. And this is following the hyphens is a cascading style sheet HTML naming convention, and it's camel case when you're on the JavaScript side. So I'm trying to adopt this. You're going to see lots of stuff where I have view D div, and over time I'm trying to get everything changed to the sort of standards naming convention on the cascading style sheet HTML side. And that still in JavaScript we can't do hyphens, so we'll do camel case, and that is the standard in that. So now what we're going to do is go in and replace the styles. And that's that import styles there. I guess I should probably do this part here, right? Install the latest ArcGIS core. Now, whether you're doing a CDS, Calcite Design System, in that, npm node package manager install. So whether you're doing, usually, you know, can you do the SDK on its own? Yes. Can you do Calcite Design System on its own? Yes. But they're kind of intertwined in that. And if you install the latest, so at ArcGIS /core at latest, so the latest, probably a 429 4.30. We can always check package JSON here shortly in that. So it's going to pull down lots of stuff. You might even see calcite components. I saw it flash there, so they get pulled down as well. So it's something we tested over the full-time run, trying to figure out what is the best way, least amount of typing you have to do to get this set up. Load dash is always the biggest hit, and is a big library in that. What we're going to do after that is get in and change the div, change the styles, add a couple more folders and files, and then start ripping stuff out that we don't need anymore, and that. And so we will just, is it happy? Is it still going? It's still going. We're going to add a .vs code folder, a Vite config JavaScript. We're done there. We're happy in that. So what I'll do here is bring up my file manager. So this file manager, I've got one tab that's looking at my current project folder, and this is the snippets for 5. So I'm going to grab the .vs code. I'm going to grab war svg and Vite config. So I'm going to copy all those and actually throw them over here in that. So the Vite config will open up the browser tab automatically when we launch our solution, which is nice, less clicking for us. The .vs Code has a settings file inside that helps with Calcite Design System IntelliSense. In that, yeah, so I think we can, we've got those files in place, so now we can kind of pop back into VS Code, almost on the rip and tear part. Now I'm going to take a war SVG and throw that down in the public. And that, yes, please move it. And that. So am I happy? This is just, again, to open it up automatically. This is the settings file about where to find the Calcite components so IntelliSense starts working. Now, will it start working? Great question. We always go test. Let's go into index. And if I put, oh, they all starting to show up. Excellent. So that's, the fact that you can pick from the existing components, fantastic in that. So we switched up the view.div. I'm going to do the replace the style, that replace the contents of style and that. So I'm going to go grab that. And I'm going to go for style. This is all from the boilerplate sample Vite project. Alt-Shift-F to align that. So that should be okay. That's looking good. So far, am I at the rip and tear part? I am now on slide 22, step 22. So we add the .vs Code here. We did the Vite config. I didn't put the CDN links in yet, so I can do that. Now, for this to work, you're going to have to run my tweaks that will copy over the sort of like a HTML.json file or settings file to your profile for this next part to work. So up here, and we will go, I guess, there it is, CDS, CDN. It'll work for that. Again, for that IntelliSense to work, you have to run the tweaks that's on the J drive in that. And we'll call this war map. And that. Almost good to go. I'm going to start deleting things. So, well, here, instead of vite.svg, it'll be war. There we go. Then we can get rid of the Vite. Don't need that anymore. We can delete that. Move to recycle bin. Don't need the counter.js anymore. We will delete that one. Don't need, I guess, anything else can go. Don't need this one here either. This JavaScript SVG. Delete that. So all we have right now is this Vite style package JSON's main index, and that ignore. It's looking good, right? And the settings file, getting this all cleaned up. Now, big thing is we had to change the code in here, and so we might as well, I guess, we will get rid of everything but the import of the style. Now, there's code in the speaker notes, but I also have the snippets folder here, and we've done that part, but this would be the parts we want here, these snippets right here. Can open up those in VS Code, open in VS Code. Now, how we doing? Where's our snippet? There's snippet 5, and that, Control A, Control Copy. Is that enough to get started? That might be enough to get started. Yeah, we did the 4 part already. I'm going to go over, I guess I can replace all of this because I noticed that the import was in there. And so this is going to bring in the style. This will bring in the map and the map view. We're going to make a map with a base map street vector, and then we're going to zoom to a location in, well, I think BC in that. And then the question would be, is any of this going to work in that? Now, we've been doing a lot of stuff, and if we go in here, we don't have our npm scripts, and so it's not aware that we're doing one of these types of things. But when you click on the package.json and the scripts debug actually shows up, sometimes the npm scripts still not showing up, you'll get a menu choice down here. So if you get stuck like I'm getting stuck right now, right, is it showing up? Still not showing up. You may have to reload the window. So I'm going to go back here, and we will go Control-Shift-P. So Control-Shift-P to get the palette. Reload. Reload the window. This usually kicks it into gear to recognize, see, npm scripts has now showed up in that. But you have to go up here, turn it on. We now have npm scripts, so we can run it from the GUI. But all you're avoid doing is running, I guess, npm run dev is what you're trying to avoid. There's the npm run dev. Okay, it'll fire up in that. And oh, you didn't see this because it popped off screen, but it automatically popped up the tab, so I didn't have to click on anything. My custom fave icon is working in that, and we've got a map of Garibaldi Park there. You can see Vancouver down in the south here, Tantalus, and a few others up there. So that's just to show you a quick way to get things set up. Again, it's set up to use Vite as the development server. We are coding in the ECMAScript module format, where we don't put any code in here. Separation of concerns. All that's in here is HTML. We don't put JavaScript code in here. In that, and this is just cascading style sheets, right? Separation concerns, and this is all JavaScript code in that. And again, it is in that ECMA. It started around version 6, ECMAScript 6, the concept of doing imports and modules. So there is a little bit of magic in here that, hey, type module. So EM modules. That's another thing that's in this Vite config. We don't use this here, but that when we do workers at the end of the course, web workers, the format for compilation is ECMAScript, not the AMD loader in that. So that's something we put in here. The fact that it automatically opened the tab is this part here. In the browser. But that's basically what I'll show you is how we want to set up a base Vite ECMAScript 6 concept of coding plus the ArcGIS SDK. The way we've done it is that the SDK pulls in calcite anyway, but we added the parts for IntelliSense so that when we're working in HTML, and if we wanted to add some calcite components, you just angle bracket, hit the C, you'll get an alphabetical list of all the calcite stuff that's available. Okay, that's it for now.